Hey, little gay boys and girls and fag hags and straight boys who sneak and watch my videos and love me too. Yes, it's been a while, and I know I always say that, but it has been. And I thank you all for hanging in there with me and being patient and for being loyal, because whenever I do finally get a chance to create a video and have this conversation with you, you all are always there. So I really appreciate you all hanging in there with me and not falling off, and for coming out to the shows too. That really means a lot. Okay, I wanted to talk because I'm a little bit down right now, and I really have a hard time talking about really serious things, especially when I'm forced to look at them through a very serious lens. But I really need to talk about this because I feel like this is an issue that is really not addressed a lot in our community. And that being first, black people in depression, and of course, black gay men and women, and also our trans brothers and sisters and depression. I can speak more passionately from this spectrum because I am a black gay man and I face depression. I'm pretty sure that all of us can say that we have faced serious depression in one way or another. And I really wanted to talk about this issue because I found out last night that a good friend of mine committed suicide. And it's really hard having to talk about that stuff because people don't like to hear about those type of issues. They don't like to hear about suicide and depression because we're just always taught to mask our pain in different ways. Sometimes we mask our pain through alcohol. Sometimes we mask our pain through sex and self-destructive behavior. But now is the time that we have to start really being honest with ourselves and addressing our issues. I would have never known that my friend was facing any of the issues that he was facing because whenever I talked to him, he was always upbeat. He was always happy. You know, I would be down and he would say the things that I needed to hear to bring me back up. And being someone who has suffered from depression, of course, I'm able to, know what a lot of the signs are. But of course, I know what those signs are for me. Looking at someone else, if they have that mask on, you're not always able to look at them and say, well, hey, they're depressed, unless you're out and you see some excessive behavior. But now we live in a day and age where excessive behavior has been taught to be accepted as normal. We have reality television. We have people with all these crazy personalities, and I was about to say Honey Boo Boo, but Honey Boo Boo is a real reality character, but that does sound like one of the girls like Bon Qui Qui and them. But I mean, you go out on the block and you see Bon Qui Qui and Black and Ray and them, and they all, had these crazy, outrageous personalities. Some of them real thugged out and all this and all that, and they'll cut you out in a minute. And we've been taught to accept that. We've been taught to look at that as them being hood or them being them, when a lot of times those are post-traumatic stress disorder syndrome symptoms and behaviors. We have been very traumatized as a community, and, when we look at those people and we see those types of behaviors, we cannot continue to encourage them by saying, yeah, go cut that bitch's tires. Yeah, go drink, 40 ounces, the little 40 ounces that they be drinking, the 211s and all that type of stuff. That's really not acceptable behavior. A lot of people do those kinds of things to mask different issues. And, a lot of us are lonely in the black gay community, especially because some of us have been abandoned by our families, or some of us have been accepted but only under certain pretenses, like you can be gay but we don't discuss that. And you deal with these issues and you're not able to discuss these things. And, of course, we either can't afford health care or we encourage not to go to therapists, because if you go to a therapist, you're supposed to be crazy or you're supposed to be white, whereas we face the same issues as our Caucasian counterparts and friends. So I encourage you to make sure that if you're facing an issue dealing with depression or anything like that, that you make sure that you go get the help that you need. Create a support group around you, a strong support system, because A lot of us don't feel like we have them. We have to create those, and it has to be a system that's not going to encourage you to go out and have a drink. Even though sometimes a drink is what you need, maybe one or two, maybe three, but not doing that on a daily basis. Indulging in fattening foods and risky behaviors, because that's not the way to deal with depression. Whenever someone around you comes to you and tells you what is going on, don't feel sorry for them. I feel like you can empathize with them, but encourage them to get help. And if you're dealing with any of these issues, make sure you do what you need to do to help yourself. Don't be afraid to go talk to a psychiatrist, okay? Because if you talk to that psychiatrist and it's the right thing that you're seeing them for, you might be able to get paid for that shit, okay? So make sure you do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. And no, there is no excuse, even though words cannot express. I mean, and I'm devastated by what he did to himself. I'm just absolutely devastated. I would have never even fathomed that. But there's no excuse for it. But you have to understand that when someone gets to the end of that rope and they do this kind of stuff to themselves, commit suicide, it is serious. And there's no excuse. If you're feeling it, if you're even thinking about it, get help. Form that strong, positive support system around you. Uplift yourself and know that you have been equipped with everything that you need to win. You are a winner, and know that from day one, you were fearfully and wonderfully made with everything in you. So there is no excuse to be down, and there is no excuse to commit suicide. Please don't do it. There is so much ahead of you. So many wonderful things that you can see and do. So many wonderful people to meet, and so many wonderful things to experience. You have to want that, and you have to fight for it. And you have the keys. I just wanted to say that to you. Know that you are loved. Look for love. Create love around you and love yourself. I apologize for getting emotional and all that stuff, but I just really wanted to get that off my chest because it's a serious issue. We deal with these things like that. And we are taught to mask it, and that's not healthy. Anyway, please subscribe. Continue to watch. Know that I love you. And connect with me on Twitter and Facebook and get out to a show. And most of all, again, love yourself. I love y'all. Bye, babies. Mwah.